Stop following the fast money YouTube channels. Stop following the slick, fast talking people. Look, winning in life with money is not about shortcuts. There's haves and there's have-nots in our society, in America today. How do you ensure that you are not going to be in the have-nots and that you actually end up in 10, 15 years from now on the side of the haves? I want you to win with your money. In order to win with your money, you can't keep sweeping things under the rug. You got to start facing the facts. Now, I'm going to give you some things today on this quick video that you need to start thinking about and doing. If you're 30 years old, 35, 40, even if you're 50 years old or older, these are things that you can start doing. If you don't do these things that I'm telling you on this video, you're probably going to find yourself getting further and further behind. The wealth gap is going just like this. Haves on one side, have-nots. And that gap is widening every single day. So I want to give you these 4 things, guys. And if you get anything of value out of this video, smash that like button for me. And please share this information with a young person or somebody that is maybe a little bit older and can use this information, guys. So the first thing is this, man. You got to get focused. You got to get crystal clear about what you want. One of the absolute hardest things for most people to do is really to sit down and think about and figure out exactly what they want. And it sounds very simple. It sounds very, very elementary, but it's harder than what you think. You'd be shocked at the amount of people who have a really hard time coming up with that specific thing or things that they really want. Do you have these plans and goals laid out? Do you have them on your screensaver, on your computer? Do you have them on as your screensaver or whatever you call it on your cell phone? Do you have like daily reminders that maybe on your refrigerator or somewhere where you can see these things, poster board, wherever, every single day? You have to set goals, and that your goals, once you figure out exactly what you want, and then you begin to set clear, specific goals with times and amounts associated with the goals, things become clearer. Your goals begin to act like a guide to help you make decisions on whether or not you should go on that vacation or whether you should or should not spend money on that item or this item, right? Your goals act like guardrails for you, because if it doesn't fit into your goals, then maybe you shouldn't do it. So in other words, the first thing that you got to start doing is you got to start thinking about this stuff and thinking about what you really want and thinking about what your actual specific goals actually are. Look, you've got to know where you want to go in order to get to wherever you want to go. You cannot afford to be out here wandering around aimlessly, not quite sure what you want to do. You're thinking about this and you're thinking about that. You know, when that happens and you're thinking about this and thinking about that and you're not clear, you end up being 30 years old, not clear. Then you end up being 40 years old, not clear. And then you end up being 55 years old and really not clear. So you got to develop the habit of getting clear on exactly what you want. Your goals with money are going to determine your behavior with money. And your behaviors with money is what's going to determine your outcome when it comes to money. That's first. Get clear with you. Be honest with yourself, and then go from there. Now, that's the first thing that I want you to think about when it comes to beginning to understand how you can end up in the haves and not in the have-nots. And look, you might be in the have-nots right now, but how do you get over to the haves? That's the question. That's the goal, right? Now, number 2 is this, guys. You've got to begin to turn off the noise when it comes to all of the stuff going on around you. Because when you're 25, 30, 35, 40, a lot of times you grew up in an era where everything was sitting there on Facebook. All your influences was sitting there on IG. Even the stuff about money is sitting there on IG and Facebook, the get rich stuff, right? You got to turn the volume down on that stuff. Look, you made a goal. You have a plan. You have a vision. You've developed a process that you want to go through in terms of goals and action steps to get there. Well, look, the problem happens when you get the outside noise that come into you and tell you, you shouldn't do that with your money. You should do this with your money. Hey, look at these people when you scroll on IG. They're on vacation. You need to be on that vacation too. You work hard just like them. That will get you in trouble if you don't understand or know how to turn down the volume on all the noise that's going on around you about money and this get rich quick stuff that you see that has become a real big part of our society. And it's what gets a lot of people scammed. Look, you have so many scammers out here because you have so many desperate people out here who are trying very hard not to end up as a have-not and want to get to the haves and want to do it the quickest way possible. And so they become vulnerable and susceptible to scams and get rich quick people. But listen, the way you get around a scammer or scams is you turn that noise down on all of the outside noise that's going on around you about making money, about increasing your income, about this thing that you can do right now to make $10,000 this month. Turn it down. That's going to cause you to mess up. The first thing it's going to cause you to do is change your mind, and it'll play with your mind about what you should have and what you shouldn't have and what they're doing and the Joneses over here and the Joneses over there. You don't want that. Wealth takes time. It's a process that you have to build up. You have to develop, you have to create a firm foundation. And a lot of times when you're listening to all the outside noise about what you should and shouldn't do with your money and all these people, what happens is you end up trying to do something on a weak foundation. You haven't got the foundation. You don't have an emergency fund. You don't have a budget that you do every single month, a zero-based unique budget every month. You don't have that. You don't have you're not investing 15% of your money towards the future, paying yourself first. But you hear all this stuff going on and it takes you out of focus and it takes you away from doing the common sense things that you know you should be doing with your money, but you're listening to the outside noise and it's throwing you off. So you got to realize that wealth takes time and it's a process to be built. It's not following the fast money crowd. You got to turn that noise down and turn it off. It's not the gurus. It's not the get rich quick. It's not the weekend seminars, the boot camps. It's none of that. It's a process over time. Stop following the fast money YouTube channels, right? Stop following the slick, fast talking people who don't really go through the whole process and show you how it's done and also show you all the legalities of how it's done properly without breaking the law. Look, winning in life with money is not about shortcuts. Take your time, be patient, be disciplined, be consistent over a long stretch of time. That's what you got to do to actually build wealth and build a strong foundation first. You want to stay over here on this side of the haves instead of being the have-nots. And you don't just want to go there. You want to take your whole family and generations with you. But that requires you building a life, and that building is a process. Now, let's go to number 3. The third thing that you need to do to understand have-nots is you have to take in new information about money on a regular basis. Read new information. Look, if you don't like where you're at with your money and you don't want to be in the same place in 10 or 15 years that you are right now, that means you have to bring in new information. You have to acquire some new information about money, about investing, about real estate, about stocks and bonds, about ETFs and index funds, right? Or about something regarding personal finances, money management, right? Budgeting. You got to start to bring in new information so you can have new output. So you got to maybe read more books. The information is all out there for you. On your cell phone is 100 of the best universities of all time. 500 of the greatest universities of all time are sitting right there on your phone. You got to use that information. Don't just use your phone to take selfies and tell the world what you ate last night. Instead, use your phone to be reading. Use that information and gather that information like you're doing by watching this YouTube channel. But you want to gather as much information as you can. Information is power. Now listen, here's the kicker with number 3. Once you gather the information, now you have to actually use the information. You have to put it in practice. You got to do something. You got all this new information. Now, how are you going to actually utilize the information? How are you going to put it into actual practice on a regular basis that's going to benefit you and help you reach those goals? So you got to take action. That's key. Now listen, it's not going to cost you thousands of dollars to get new information. I just want you to read maybe 2 books a month on personal finances or whatever area of money you want to learn more about. And maybe for you, you're saying, money is boring, but listen to me closely, guys. You're going to be spending this money every single day that you're alive. So if you're doing something every single day that you're alive, you might as well get good at it, become better at it, change some habits around it so you can actually ultimately win with the money that you're using and spending every single day. As boring as money may be, as sick of it as you may want to be, still doesn't stop the fact that you're still using it every single day. And you use it actually to eat. Most people don't actually make their own food that they consume every day. So you're going to be using the money to eat, using the money to go from point A to point B, travel, whatever, travel around the city where you live. So you might as well know something about it. You need new information. Read some new information, gather that information, and then do something with it. Now, number 4, that's going to help you pull a little bit away from the have-nots and move you and your future generations into the haves is making sure that you follow a few certain principles, right? 4 simple principles: organizing your money, giving your money, saving your money, and investing your money. Because you want to organize with a budget. You want to give because of the principle of giving, helping other people. You want to save for emergencies, be prepared in case something goes wrong. And then you want to be making that money grow by investing that money. So those 4 things is what's going to help catapult you out of the have-nots and into the haves. So make a budget, get organized. Every single month, a unique written budget. Give a portion of your money. Help other people. Plant some seeds with your money. I don't care if it's $5 every time you get paid. I don't care if it's $10 a month. It doesn't really matter. The point is that I want you to be giving, activating the principle of helping other people with your money. It works. It really works. And also saving your money, meaning you want to be prepared for emergencies that come up. Look, if you want to lose money fast, have an emergency and not have any money saved up to cover that emergency. You're going to be down at the payday loan place at the strip mall getting a payday loan. I don't want you to do that. So understand the principle of saving and preparing for when things go wrong. Also, you want to be growing your money. You want to save for emergencies, but you want to invest beyond your emergency. Put it aside for later down the road. That's what you want to be doing to ensure that ultimately you might be in the have-nots right now, but in 10 years, 15 years or less, we want you to be moving over to the haves and not in the have-nots. Listen, it is going to get more and more serious. The gap between the haves and have-nots is growing wider every single day. And I don't think it's going to come back. I think it's going to get wider and wider. That's what all the statistics are telling us, right? That's what's happened in the last 10, 15, 30 years or so. So it's going to keep going. So your job is to decide, how can I move from this side of the pendulum over to the haves side of the pendulum? So I hope you got something of value out of this quick video. And if you did, do me a favor, smash the like button. Please share this video with your friends, your family, your network of good people, and drop me a comment below. Let me know what you're doing or what you did to move from the have-nots to the have. Share that success story in the comments below. Hey, I was able to grow my wealth from a negative $30,000 net worth to a 7-figure net worth. I had a plan. The first thing I mentioned on this video. Listen, if you want to copy my plan, please feel free to, guys. If you think that'll help you, you need to be checking out this video that I'm going to put right here and copy my plan in this video. Check this video out right now. Peace.